So well, let's dive in from there. And Simon, like, what are the primary concerns associated with the adoption of free credits broadly? How does it impact a business in the long run?
Yeah, I think you certainly get short-term savings, but I think that really masks the long-term liabilities that you potentially are getting into. And yeah, there's a whole range of things, and it affects different people, different companies to different extents. Yeah, but let's go through a few of them. Definitely, it's vendor lock-in. Is that free drugs because you're going to keep coming back. By having free credits, you tend to be very lazy architecturally. You kind of don't design for the final part of, to the payment part. You're kind of just using it. You're being lazy how you architecture. You're being maybe not thinking about some of those design decisions, usage decisions. And therefore, yeah, absolutely, you get kind of bloated and inefficient infrastructure. That is often the end result is you haven't thought about the usage, you haven't made design decisions about in-life production. And therefore, it results in bill shock. And actually in the white paper that we'll be sharing later today, bill shock is a big part of that. A couple of statistics. There was 28% of the survey we did. 28% of the respondents said that they believed that free credits actually locked them in to longer term, higher costs longer term, because they didn't do those kind of initial design things that you should have done for efficiency.
When you're trying to be scrappy as a startup and you're say bootstrapped and you're pinching every penny, you use the least amount of services in the most affordable way because you have to. And if somebody hands you a bucket of money, you just go sign up for the most expensive database because it'll scale, even though you won't scale for 5 more years. And so then that runway runs out, and all of a sudden you're going, holy cow, what did I sign up for? That's what you're talking about there, right?
Absolutely. Thank you for bringing that to life. Those are really good examples. Similarly, you've got free credits and you've got kind of this lovely feature list of things that you could use. And most technical people will start going, oh, let me try that. Let me evaluate that. Let me start using this without really any business justification of why they should be using those features. But you come out of a long trial at the end of a year, you've architectured those features into your application, and to take them out is a big cost, a big task, and it's typically not done, and it leaves that technical debt within what you're doing.
Yeah.
The other figure that we saw was that in the survey was that 70% of the respondents said that they saw lack of visibility to actually what they were spending, because again, they were just using it free, and then at the end of the period, the business, procurement, compliance, others were going, well, why are we using this? Well, what are those features giving us? Why are we using it in this one? Yeah. So at the end of the day, I certainly a big believer that lock-in suppresses innovation, suppresses agility, because you've got all of that technical debt. No longer your priority to solve that problem.
Yeah.
James, I'm sure you've got other examples.
Yeah, I think it really obviously depends on where they're at that journey. I think, Kendall, you touched on, like, at the beginning, it's effectively like a lifeline for some of these businesses, right? That they get given some of these, and it can help innovation in the short term, particularly when you are a capital constrained business and you're looking to innovate, but at a lower cost. However, as Simon's alluded to, without having, and we'll touch on this later, some of the governance in place and really understanding the long-term implications of some of your decision-making, that's when actually it starts to hurt businesses or limit businesses later on, from both a commercial perspective, but then also from an agility perspective, and also, you've got to factor in the way in which they're consumed, this almost limitless bucket of credits, right? It can create overusage and ultimately companies building infrastructure and I'm a big believer in a resource constrained environment. You actually produce better, more efficient infrastructure, whereas obviously these credits it promotes quite the opposite.